Unstoppable. What's driving it? Have you missed it? What are the next altcoins? Are NFTs next? This is the market update. I'm your host, Bill Noble. All of these questions will be answered. All of your questions will be answered because after 25 years at Wall Street, I can say with confidence, nobody understands what's happening here better than me. If this channel is where you want to get information, subscribe. If the content works for you, hit the like button. This show is brought to you by my Patreon group, patreon.com/unhingedcrypto. This morning, today, you will get to see what my Patreon group had 2 or 3 days ago. We have this very subtle link with a QR code, and the link is a clickable link. Is going to be underneath the video and in the description. Special private webinars on Sunday. The recording of the last one is available in the Patreon store. All right. Let's welcome all the market update fans who are coming in here. We have Ricky coming in from Asia and the Philippines late at night. Sir, we welcome you. JB from Southern California up early. Schiller, right? Getting some help navigating from me. Richard Barry, this is going to be the most epic rally anyone has ever seen. Exactly. And that's the market update. No, I'm kidding. Okay, Johannes is here. Crypto Crazy, a new, better life. Coming in from Malta, the blockchain island in Southern Europe. Welcome. Patreon link is in the comments. Gravity says best news on the net for crypto. All right. This is how we're going to do this. First of all, why is Bitcoin going up every day? And then after it goes up in the morning, why does it stop? I'll give you the short answer. The equity guys buy it. Crypto has begun to trade like stocks. Everybody's looking for a dip, and you're not going to get one, right? Not until Bitcoin gets way overextended, and we are absolutely not there yet. People are still hesitant. On Twitter last night and in Patreon, I am telling people who on Twitter was telling you to pay 56K for Bitcoin. They were bullish. They were enthusiastic. They had a price target of 250K, but were they there telling you pay 56? You'll never see 55 until a correction a month or 2 months from now. Nobody. Now, this is not, I'm right, I'm right, he's wrong. It's not that. It's understanding that as long as people are hesitating, and they're going to hesitate at 62, at 60 as well. We'll talk about what the next actual technical resistance point is, assuming that even matters. Don't laugh, right? Because again, it's dominated by flows of money. But who was saying buy at 56? Nobody except me, right? Because again, it goes up and everyone has sticker shock. Everyone, that is, except the normies who are watching my YouTube shorts about Bitcoin in 5,000 person increments. Yes, social media has decided that they're feeding a normie boomer Bitcoin guy to normies who want to read about Bitcoin. And those numbers in themselves are a market indicator. He who hesitates is lost. Now, that's going to go for a range of things. So we're going to have the charts and we're going to have the news that backs all this up. XRP has started to move. AI coins are moving. I mean, again, this looks just like stocks. Bitcoin is S&P. AI coins are like NVIDIA and the Magnificent Seven. The new Magnificent Seven is forming before our eyes. There's going to be layer ones. There's going to be privacy and money. We're going to talk about that. And then we're going to talk about, right, these AI coins, right? And how, again, when things like even Pepe, right, new forms of money. So it's acting like equities, but it's applying crypto themes. And that's what actually makes it hard to trade. right? Everyone's like, oh, Bitcoin's at 60K and, you know, I made all this money trading. Hey, not necessarily, right? People, particularly in the normie world, may have missed a boat. And anybody who was coping and hoping, looking for a dip, needs guidance. Guidance is here. Okay. Endless Hope. Romania is in the house. Big Buddha, Andre, Hank, welcome. The Fuzz Crypto, Daniel J at the Jersey Shore. By the way, speaking of short videos, if you've been watching the short videos, welcome. Please leave a comment down below letting us know who you are and what you'd like to see in the future. Okay, that is the executive summary. I'm going straight to the news. Let's get real. Crypto exchange enters Turkey as a part of a global expansion plan. Okay. There is going to be a crypto conference in May in Hong Kong. Okay. Consensus is in May in Austin. You got to make your money now. You got to get a correction in March or April, maybe one correction in each month. And then you got to make enough money for the rest of your life in May and July, right? Because by that time, everybody who's anybody is going to be FOMOing into crypto, not just BlackRock. Now, Ether demand is driven by U.S. investors. Coinbase premium for ETH is higher than normal, meaning normie investors with Coinbase accounts are watching Bitcoin go up at a faster rate than ETH, and they're going to start hitting the button in ETH and Solana very soon, most likely as soon as Bitcoin either takes out 62 in wild fashion or it takes out the all-time high in wild fashion. Notice I said in wild fashion. Okay, here's a word, right? You're like, okay, here I am. I just got off the subway. I need one word. Give me one word that helps me understand what's going on right now. And that word is overshoot, right? The market always goes farther than you expect on the downside. Bitcoin was below 20K for 6 months. Now, everyone's like, oh, it's the all-time high, or oh, it's resistance at 62K. Yeah, okay. But when we go through that, it's going to be based on BlackRock flows. So they're not going to be price sensitive. And then everybody in crypto is going to go wild. So it's probably going to happen in Bitcoin first, and then it's going to happen in ETH and Solana. People who miss Bitcoin naturally are like, oh, look, Bitcoin's at 60,000. ETH is only at 3,000. That's normie thinking. That's what's happening. Okay. Telegram introduces ad revenue sharing. Social media places want content. They're going to start paying in crypto, period. Full stop. Worldcoin rival Humanity Protocol nets funding from Polygon. Okay. So every character in the world is going to have his own form of money by the time this is over. There's going to be a whole bunch of different ways to pay, right? It's not going to be just, 3 or 4 different credit card companies. You're going to have crypto assets being used to pay for things, right? This and layer ones as the pipeline to run the next generation of the internet is a completely under-discussed topic. Like, yes, AI is hot. Crypto AI just woke up. But AI in crypto, the reason it's special is that it's the first part of a rally of a new version of the internet. The guys that issue Worldcoin know it. The guys that issue Humanity Protocol know it. I know it. And now I'm telling you, because hearing about it and knowing it are different, right? I want you to listen to me so I can help you know it, right? Patreon guys getting 2 videos a day, coaching 10 charts every 2 days. Come on, see us. With Mad Lads on top, Solana Exchange sets its sights on Coinbase, the Mad Lads NFT maker. People, let me just tell you this right now. The main reason to get Solana, okay, what in this quiet period, right? In other words, I know everyone wants like the Solana pump right now. People, once this Bitcoin thing has its blow off top in early March, I think. It's a monster. Okay. Then Solana is going to take off. And the reason you want Solana, the mobile phones, NFTs, and gaming. Because once there's all these Bitcoin profits sloshing around, that eventually winds up in alts, Web3, next generation of the internet. Don't fade it. Be ready. If you're long it and you're not getting what you want out of it right now, please don't get discouraged. Please. It's just a waiting game, right? The market moves in sectors. Bitcoin is a sector unto itself. Bitcoin goes up, right? Then ETH and Solana follow. Then I think it's going to be like Avalanche and Phantom coming back. There's this person in my Patreon group that every time this person asked me, she was the 300 Spartan to join the group. Every time she asked me about a coin, sometimes I go, yeah, well, you can hold on to that one, but that other one is meh. And then the one that's meh just goes up. It's like Decentraland, Sandbox. Sandbox was okay, but I noticed Decentraland is up only. And who knows, Avalanche and Phantom could be next along with Near. Because first I was like, every layer one's not going to make it. That's still true. But internet infrastructure is going to follow Bitcoin. It's going to. It's just a question of time. PlayStation boss, NFT gaming firm, READYgg, an NFT infrastructure startup. That's going to be the new buzzword, by the way. That's going to be the new buzzword. Now, let's talk about groupthink. Remember when the Bitcoin ETF first came out? It was, I don't know, Bitcoin's at 40 something K. And crypto Twitter has its telescope out. They're like, oh, look at all the money that's flowing out of GBTC, because money went from GBTC to BlackRock. It's like, oh yeah, look, oh my God. Who cares? The amount of money that got allocated from other products over to the Bitcoin ETF was about this much. Yet, that was the focus. That's all anybody talked about, along with this idiotic idea of sell the fact. Right? What did it go down for, like 2 days? Groupthink. Stay out of groupthink. GBTC hits lowest ever 22 million outflows, raising hopes for an end to the Bitcoin bleed. Yeah, we're going to go in to what BlackRock is pouring into this market. Stay out of groupthink. If you can do that, you'll make money. So if you're like, okay, here I am, Bitcoin's at 60K, I just showed up, I guess I missed it all. No, because we're now just finding out the folly of the groupthink that was at 40. And when people realize that this is an investable asset, a form of money, it's going to breed other forms of money. Ignite AI just as a sector play, because that's what happened in equities. And then the thing jokingly referred to as Web3 is going to happen. In other words, the reason Bitcoin is unstoppable is not because of its price, is because it can ignite a largely undervalued sector, right? Which is cryptocurrency and digital assets in general. All in bits to launch governance blockchain ahead of Cosmos Hub fork. That sounds kind of complicated. Don't underestimate Cosmos. Don't underestimate any of these things that can be connected to form a new internet. Don't. Okay. Gee, a ministry overseas warns about a problem with their central bank digital currency. What? You mean something run by the non-private sector doesn't work right? Huh. 5 things Satoshi Nakamoto correctly predicted about Bitcoin. Okay. The rule of law. Do you want to know what is law? They say code is law. Price is law. Price, they're waking up everywhere this morning going, hey, it's at 60K. Price is law. Okay. Not so anonymous. Okay. Privacy, we need it. Any use cases for Bitcoin? Talk to BlackRock. They found a use for it. Bitcoin bulls target 69K lifetime highs ahead of the halving. Okay, so an expected pre-halving rally is a good spot to realize short-term profits. This is another thing we got to talk about in the PowerPoint. Oh my God, I cannot get people off this. Look, there is going to be a spot after this thing gets wild where you're going to want to pull some money off the table. There's going to be one in March and one in April. But that's all anybody's talking about now. That's 15 days away. At least. Everyone is saying, okay, when do we sell? Okay, well, this is getting a little wild. It's probably a local top because Pepe went up. Everybody has a reason why it's a local top. People, I got news for you. The definition of a local top is a hangover after the biggest party anyone's ever seen, and we're just getting started. Just getting started. Everyone's talking about the end when we're at the beginning. I mean, there's no material reason for this thing to go lower until there's any kind of Fed catalyst, which again, might as well be, is 2 to 3 weeks in the future, which given how this thing's moving, that's not what you should be talking about. Now, if you have a good position, if you made 100% in a meme coin, should you take some money? Sure, maybe, right? Or you can ride the trend until it becomes insane, until the people who are hoping for a dip lose hope and FOMO in. Or they don't FOMO in and it just keeps going. Again, another thing people have not recognized. Bitcoin used to move 5-10% at a clip. It still can. Where's the supply? Where's the supply? It's not coming from GBTC anymore. So it's not on Coinbase. Where's the supply? When people in bathrobes just sit around and have the money managers that run their 401k buy Bitcoin while they sit around and read the newspaper. I mean, there's 9 Bitcoin ETFs, right? Those 9 Bitcoin ETFs are going to make arrangements with mutual funds, registered investment advisors, money managers, and they're going to say, hey, if you recommend our ETF, we'll give you a percentage of this, of that. We'll incentivize you to talk to your clients about our ETF. How do you think those other 9 ETFs are going to survive? With, staring down BlackRock. Normies are just waking up to this. Like, oh, look, it's not even at its all-time high. Like the NVIDIA mindset drives the normie world. Falling Bitcoin Ether spread is music to altcoin. The funding spread has collapsed, indicating an increased appetite for traders to speculate further out the risk curve. Right. Translated into English, Bitcoin will lift the valuation of the whole sector. Okay. And you might be like, what did he just say? The higher Bitcoin goes, the higher crypto can go as an asset class. The normie world is changing the value of crypto. It's changing the value of crypto. Okay, this is Telegram. Ton rockets 40% after Telegram says it'll share ad revenue. Let me ask you something. How long do you think it's going to take before a guy who runs a social media platform that used to look like a bird starts doing this? What's going to happen? I mean, I talked about this last time, and Doge was up 10%. Like, what is going to happen when all the different new forms of money start coming out, right? You got Ton this morning. You got World. You got obvious candidates that we're going to go through later, where you can see the Patreon charts that my guys got yesterday. Litecoin, Bitcoin Cash, all of these forms of money. This stuff's all on PayPal. Bitcoin firm MicroStrategy pops 27% as 2 days as company's crypto stake hits $11 billion. This guy said, I'm never selling. And I've said this before, and I can say it again. From great pain comes great opportunity. It's a famous saying about bear markets and how bear markets can lead to opportunities for like life-changing money. This guy walked into work every single day for 6 months with Bitcoin 50% below his average price. Like the unbelievable, catastrophic, bearish environment of 2022, where it literally looked like the absolute end of crypto. This guy had to sit there every day, go on talk shows, go on podcasts. Hey, Mike, I know you're miserable, but how's it going? This guy defended his position for 6 months, 7 months, 8 months before he got back to where the whole thing was massively profitable. When is he going to sell? He is going to make BlackRock take over his company at some wild price. And I think the only reason this guy sells MicroStrategy is either to pay his personal bills or to move some of his risk from MicroStrategy directly into Bitcoin personally, adding to another giga buyer. The guy's tweet yesterday was like, yeah, you don't sell. When all of crypto Twitter is like, bop, 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 the local top. The local top. Why don't you start a podcast and call it Michael Saylor or have a Michael Saylor AI character and ask him, hey, Mike, when do you think the local top is? He'll say 250K. Bitcoin surges to 60K, putting it within striking distance of all-time highs. Yup. Crypto traders hedge Bitcoin rally after 40% rise in 4 weeks. Okay, so I don't know what kind of language I can use, but there's a funny definition of a hedge. It's something little doggies use when they go for a walk, little leg lift on that hedge. Everybody is selling. Everybody is hedging. Everybody is like, it's going to go down. I need to protect myself. Yeah, later. But if this is the headline right now, it proves what I'm trying to tell you. Hesitation is giga bullish. It's giga bullish. Okay, Steve J, the king of ETH DeFi, which is coming back, is in the house. Pancakes and peanut butter, reminding you to hit the like button. Hit the button on Patreon. Hit the like button on the stream. Let me help you with tons and tons of content. Crypto Chronic is here from Florida. What's up? Okay, Seth, liking the stream. Seth, making money in Bitcoin Cash. Loving it. Luis, Spartan number 100 is in the house. Okay, right on. Right on. Justin is here. Matt, the Fuzz Crypto. Raj, Spotter Inc., Straight Head. What's going on? Ashton, Zoran. All right, people. Andre, Hank, Endless Hope. What's up? PowerPoint, your market update. Here we go. Here we go. All right, people. To state the obvious, this work was delivered to Patreon 2 days ago, and they're all snug as a bug in a rug, tucked in for when cope and hope goes nope, and this thing goes up. Obviously, this show is brought to you by this more subtle code by my Patreon. Now, look at this. Look at our friends from Bloomberg. Don't you just love it when B+ journalism majors start telling you how to manage your book? Whatever. Bitcoin spot ETFs are starting to see slowing investor interest. Huh? No one's, it's just like 3-4 days ago that no one's interested. Really. Nothing to see here, people. Keep moving. 60K. Bitcoin ETF daily flows from yesterday. BlackRock, 520 million. That's yesterday. Hey, what's 500 million between friends? What happens when it goes to 1 billion? You know, the thing that happens in equities is like, this is how NVIDIA went from 1 trillion in market cap to 2 trillion in market cap, like that. This is a flow of money, mindless flow of money. So I can draw stuff on charts, right? And charts matter, but your imagination also has to matter, because the people putting money into this thing they just don't care. They don't care. They just want in. And if it can happen in S&P, everyone is having such a hard time in crypto understanding that it can happen in crypto. They wanted this, it's here, and now they don't understand it, which is understandable, but I'm pounding the table explaining it, right? Now, here's a good tweet. I like it. Okay. Mr. Mara says near 15 USD possible. Well, that's a pretty robust target, but yes. Last cycle, we bought it at 9. We thought we were geniuses. It went to 20, and then they took it down to like 60 cents. And now it's at $4, and people think they can't buy it. Well, you better think again, because near solves a lot of problems. People start building on this stuff. It's nowhere near where it was last cycle. Upon reflection, it's quite clear that we're moving into some form of acceleration phase where marginal buyers have lost their price sensitivities, which is, you know, I need it and I don't care. That's it. I'm buying it. Resulting in prices climbing up without a pause, like stocks. For sideline capital, there are now 2 choices. Submit and become a price insensitive buyer, which can be painful, which bull markets can be painful. Cope and hope for a crash is the other choice. In order to get a crash, it's got to be above 70. It may have to be at 80. In other words, the only way to get 56 may be to get 76 or 86 or something wild. Bitcoin has a history of being wild, and if there's no selling, who is the seller when BlackRock's coming in with $500,000 a day? And how long is it going to take before levered crypto traders start figuring out that they got to get in front of the BlackRock flows? I mean, neither of these options are particularly attractive to the person who wrote this tweet, which is why I expect myself to begin underperforming the late money entering the space. I don't particularly subscribe to anything about the all-time high, but there are multiple notable points leading me to believe we are close to some form of local top. So let's think about what this guy just said. People don't care what price they have to pay. Large numbers of people are coming. Large numbers of people have been left behind. Therefore, I think it's going to be a top. Yeah, there's always a top. Nothing goes straight up. But he's describing flows and emotions that lead to like insane price action before you get the top. Everybody's worried about the top. Everyone thinks this is like 2021, where it's this liquidity driven FOMO, right? Where it was all the Fed printing money, right? Now, the money that's been printed over the years is looking for a more permanent home. That's why Bitcoin is moving. Now let's talk about Bitcoin charts. So this is hidden pivot analysis. I explained how to do this in a webinar that's available in the Patreon store. It's a 90-minute webinar. As you can see from this hidden pivot method, Bitcoin went up, held support around 50. The upside target is 62. So basically, don't talk to me about this even stopping until it gets to 62. And if it doesn't respect 62, when you draw these hidden pivot analysis structures, if it doesn't respect 62, then it's going to go to 72 or higher, right? But let me not be a complete lunatic. 62 is the level that matters, not 60. And you may get some sort of wild FOMO move late in the day. Because one thing I've been noticing is that, you know, Asia dumps the market because they got problems over there and people looking to raise dollars. London comes in and buys it. And by the time London and New York coming in and buy it, by the second half of the day, everyone's too scared to get in. And then they just repeat this thing the next day. 62 is a level. If it doesn't stop there, forget it. If it does stop there, but doesn't go down, that is also a signal. Now, the first resistance that we're getting to, ironically, is in ETH. ETH has gotten to our hidden pivot target at 33.59. So ETH could sit while Bitcoin goes crazy. I got a Bitcoin dominance chart that's just stark raving unbelievable. But eventually, when you get this like up only action in ETH, normies are looking at ETH and Solana on Coinbase and they're going, well, maybe I missed Bitcoin, but they're going to start looking at all this stuff relative to all-time highs. And if things like Solana, Litecoin, and Bitcoin Cash, visually, they're going to look cheap. They're going to look like, oh, I can get one coin. And that could be Cardano too. Right? In other words, so 33.59 is a stopping point in ETH. If it doesn't stop there, forget about it. If it does stop there, it just means the Bitcoin dominance trade could be even bigger than I think it is. Now, throwing you some DeMark work today. So Silver Freedom is here. Welcome. Awesome info every day from you on Patreon. Silver, we appreciate your business. Now, throwing some DeMark work into the market update. Normally that's Patreon only, but I love you guys. And I know Patreon people saw this 2 days ago. So IBIT, that's the BlackRock Bitcoin ETF. Here you have a 1 through 9. I explained this in that webinar that's in Patreon, what this really means. So that's the first part of the trend. And then you have a pause. And then the next part of the trend goes 1 through 13, and we're on a 4. If anything, today could be the dip day. Pause days, dips off the high. Time to get in. You're like, what? Yeah, time to get in. No sign of a top in the Bitcoin ETF. Oh, by the way, it's $34 a share. Ring, ring. Hi, it's your financial planner. Yeah, you know, where our research department said we should be allocating 3% to Bitcoin. Oh, that's interesting. I think I've heard of Bitcoin. Where's Bitcoin trading at? Well, it's getting close to its all-time high, but we have an ETF for $34 a share. You want some? Oh, yeah, $34 a share. That's totally reasonable. NVIDIA is like, what, 800? He goes, yeah, it's $34 a share is something easy for you to get into. Okay, put 5% in. Okay, thank you. Boom. That's how it works. That's how it works in normie world. Walk by a Charles Schwab or Fidelity office. See guys, well-dressed, guys and gals. They're salespeople. Their job is to get money coming into the company and then get, in some firms, get money into the products that are both good for the customer and good for the company. End of story. Oh my God, XRP. Is anybody out there into XRP? Bitcoin may be saving you. My opinion is the Giga rally in XRP is later in the year, but guess what? The rising tide is lifting all boats, and Crypto Hoops is reminding me that they're waving their hands in the air and they just don't care. ETH is past 33.60. XRP is breaking out above a DeMark level. That dotted line is generated by the automated DeMark technical analysis system, which is a cornerstone of Shawn. Okay, so XRP breaks out, comes back, makes a return move. This shows the trend in XRP could just be starting. Wouldn't it be funny? What happens in this market if XRP and Cardano woke up? I thought it was Cardano. And again, this is another thing about bull markets. They can be very humbling. Who was talking about Pepe? Nobody. Up 70%, right? In these markets where you rotate, you know, you can pick the wrong stuff, or the stuff that no one is talking about is the stuff that goes up, or the stuff people gave on is the stuff that goes up, or D, all the above, right? Crypto Hoops is like, oh, XRP killing me. Personally, I think XRP is December, but obviously I'm cheering for those people. And if anything, this Bitcoin rally is showing that the Coinbase crowd is going to look at XRP at 57 cents and they're going to want it. They're going to want Solana and AI coins more. But again, XRP did wake up. Okay. The DeMark Elliott wave work that Patreon is working off. So that after Valentine's Day, Bitcoin did an ABC correction, really a slow moving slump where everyone got short and they got bored. They got bored and they got short. It's one of the worst things that can happen in bull markets. They either bore you into selling or bore you into getting short. Wrong. Okay. Then the up move starts. It starts wave 1, wave 2, and then wave 3. There's 5 waves in Elliott wave. Wave 3 is the most impulsive, which is where you get the most gratification with limited dips. So again, just like the Bitcoin ETF, this is the 4-hour chart of Bitcoin. You do the first part of the trend 1 through 9. You have a pause and then boom, right? You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 before this is over. I mean, that's like 3 or 4 days of possibly up only for a 3-wave in Bitcoin. Now, one thing you want to do in TA is have confirmation. So you want to have one thing that says your theme, and then you want to have something else. And this is a good lesson for everybody else, right? So here's a diamond in Bitcoin dominance. This is the percentage of market cap. This is the percentage of market cap taken up by Bitcoin. So this is a diamond formation. Diamonds are extremely powerful. You had a breakout from a diamond. It looked like a false breakout. Alts rallied, led by AI. Then Bitcoin turned around and broke out of the diamond. Diamonds are powerful. So obviously this is a diamond breakout for real now. Okay. Obviously this is a diamond breakout and Bitcoin dominance could go to 58%. It's currently at 54.4. You can add another 4 full points to Bitcoin dominance. That's got to be Bitcoin at 80. I'm sorry, right? Like I can show you the YouTube, but I think you get the point. 2 weeks ago, when everyone was like, "Oh my God," you know, when everybody was doing this, "Oh my God, look, Bitcoin 50, 50, 50," and I'm like, "No, 60, 60, 60." Now, Bitcoin dominance at 58, that's Bitcoin at 76 or 80. Just wild stuff, right? And of course, so another reminder, on January 22nd, Jim Cramer says, unlikely that Bitcoin finds its footing. That was 5 weeks ago. I mean, if that's what Bitcoin can do in 5 weeks, what can Bitcoin do between now and mid-March? With BlackRock just coming in with both hands. Both hands. Kudos to my producer, the best producer in the business. Bitcoin Cash Daily. I got an idea, guys. How about we have Bitcoin, fast Bitcoin, cheap Bitcoin? This is Bitcoin. And it actually has a layer 1 functionality to it. Now, it's been the redheaded stepchild for years. But guess what? You go 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, the detailed explanation on this is in that webinar in Patreon. But the quick and dirty is when you're on number 4, that's the dip. That's the dip. Now, in this case, it's this big green candle where it came off. They gave you the dip. Guess what? They're giving it to you again today. Why? Because they don't believe it. They don't believe it. Let them not believe it. Excellent. Patreon, scoop it up. And then what happens in Bitcoin Cash when they do believe it? I got a chart. I got an upside target in this thing that is unbelievable. Unbelievable. Litecoin, similar situation. Doesn't have the giga bullish potential that Bitcoin Cash does, but Litecoin has not moved in a long time, right? And when Litecoin doesn't move in a long time, okay, it can really go. And again, here's resistance. Okay, I get it. 75, rush up. Okay, come back, rush up, comes back. What happens when they're not afraid anymore? We've seen this in Render. We've seen this in the AI coins. We saw it in Solana last year. People are like, ooh, I should take profits in Solana at 75. I'm like, no. Okay, it went to 125. How does, and the lesson from that is, how does a market trade when they're not afraid anymore? When they're not afraid anymore. Right now, they're afraid. Excellent. Welcome to crypto. You're just in time. Everyone is hesitating. Not the right move. Oh, MicroStrategy. I had an upside target of 1,000, thinking that that might be it. Look at this DeMark work. It's like 1, 2, 3. Wait a minute, Bill. I thought you said it went 1 through 9 and then a pause and then 1 through 13. Where are we in the process of MicroStrategy? Oh, we're at 3. So what happens? I mean, 1,000 is legit resistance. What happens if they just take it out? I mean, we got all these charts, right? We got Bitcoin dominance. We got, everybody's talking about 60 when they should be talking about 80, just like when everybody was at 50, everybody should have been talking about 60. What is going to happen here? Everyone sold this stock to get into the Bitcoin ETF, and I get it. There's asset allocation and stuff like that, but everyone sold the stock. Who's the seller of the stock? Now, Avalanche, altcoins. Okay, so this goes to patience is a virtue. You had a big move up in Avalanche. You had a big down move in Avalanche. That's wave 4. This one is for Loches. Wave 5. Right. The rising tide lifts all boats. This could happen. Phantom, like MicroStrategy, DeMark 3, just starting. XRP may be telling you faster is better. I mean, where is the rest of this market going to be if Bitcoin gaps up to 80? And even if Bitcoin gaps up and comes back down, like what's going to happen to the rest of the market? Speaking of the rest of the market, total crypto market cap, we still have 500 billion to add before total crypto market cap gets to resistance. We have another 100 billion or 150 billion to add before total 2, which is total crypto market cap without Bitcoin. In other words, ETH is, let me say it this way. ETH could go up until total crypto market cap without Bitcoin is worth $1 trillion. And you know what? $1 trillion used to be a lot. It's not anymore. It's not. We're going to say Web3 is worth $1 trillion. It's not ridiculous. It was in 2021. I don't think it's ridiculous now. You notice, it's up only, but there was a lot of hesitation in here. I mean, the whole middle part of February, everyone was like, "Ooh, I don't know if I can do this. This is scary." Okay, when there's no fear, then we can get out. We are not there yet. We are not there yet. Look at this total free. Total altcoin market cap can go from 587 to 655. And this has got to be your Avalanches, your Dogecoin, maybe even your XRP, your Cardano, your Solana. I mean, they don't have to go to the moon and stay to the moon. It doesn't have to be 2021 for those altcoins. And here's something to think about. Can altcoins take out their high from December? Back in December, if I told you Bitcoin was going to go to 80, where would you have said your altcoin would be? Now, nobody thinks altcoins can make a new high. And you know what? I was guilty of it because I looked at Avalanche and I was like, eh. But then I looked at the DeMark, which of course is featured in Patreon, and I'm like, oh, yeah. And I DM'd Loches. I was like, hey, remember what I said about Avalanche? Yeah, forget that. You're right. Loches doing a market update one day. Okay, Fetch AI, Patreon people in here. This hidden pivot top, $1.09. Yeah, no one cares. No one cares. Like this, can you imagine if this is 62 in Bitcoin and 3,300 in ETH, literally when these hidden pivot resistances aren't resistance, this is what happens. Solana, look at this. Fetch AI started here. This is where Solana is right now. This is what Fetch did. So Solana now down here, 131, 184. You want to know when you sell? when Solana gets to 184 and everyone's talking about 200, or Solana overshoots and goes to 200. Okay, then we can all genuflect and sell and take the money and wait for whatever is going to happen in March and April. But I mean, this is like, yeah, you know, meh. Everyone's waiting for Solana to go up while Bitcoin takes the stage. And when everybody gives up on Solana or gets bored, then it'll just go. Because again, who's going to drive it? Coinbase normies. Coinbase normies are going to go, oh, wow, something's $100. Okay. That's the market update. Okay, let's see what we got in here. Seth says he could listen all day. Brother, I could talk all day, as everyone in Patreon knows. Okay. Jay Mizzle says we are off to the races. Steve J, we need DeFi perp for Steve J. Guys, you know how long Steve J has been into DeFi perp? Like for a while. Okay. And then Chainlink took off and I was like, oh, that's nice. Okay. And then Uniswap went. And I'm like, oh my God. The first thing I thought of was like Steve J. And I'm like, wouldn't it be hysterical somehow, if this cup and handle in basically, I would call this ETH DeFi, right? So I went in how to draw these cup and handles and how to measure the targets in that webinar that's in Patreon, which will serve you well throughout this bull market. People, handles frustrate everybody out. That's what I can tell you now. And then all of a sudden, 1, 2, 3, 4 up weeks, huh? And this could go 50% higher. Can you imagine if ETH DeFi from the last cycle is one of the things that helps wake up ETH? I mean, who is expecting that? Nobody. By the way, while I'm here, just as a reminder to both you and to myself, you know, AGIX spiked up 13%, Fetch spiked up 18%, but then comes off, right? Like Tau is something of interest. Filecoin I like. There's a Store J chart in altcoin overtime in Patreon. They're going to go after these coins. They're going to go after them one at a time. Render. Okay. Here's the hidden pivot analysis in Render. Just because I'm in a good mood. Right. And I know my guys have got Render. Now, Render does a lot of token unlocks this time of year. There's a lot of hesitation at $7.60. Good. Because when they're not hesitating, it's at 11. Okay. Somebody wants me to take a look at perp. Okay. Keep hoping it's going to be Wall Street on the blockchain one day. Okay. I think the thing that you got to look at, and that's why I did this webinar, and we're going to have registration for the next one coming in, and that's going to be for people who are in the Patreon. So, you know, get the hint. Okay. You can pretty much draw this across the board. Algorand, Hedera, the graph, everywhere. Like, to make money in 2020, you had to know one thing. Seriously, one thing. The bigger the base, the higher in the space. That is what you had to do. I did a show every Sunday. I would pull up the ETH chart and I would go, the bigger the base, the higher in the space. This is a daily chart. So a cup and handle or a rounding bottom is a form of a base. Everyone gives up. The thing dies. It wakes up. Bag holders sell. But then when it starts to come back and breaks out again, people go, you know, perp, DYDX, GMX, SEI. I mean, do you really think we're going to do the future of money, the future of tech, the future of AI, and we're not going to do the future of finance at the same time? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Right? I mean, it's just bonkers. Okay, Steve J is asking about ZYPTO on Uniswap. It would be rude not to. Okay, so it doesn't look like I have a whole lot of data to work with. This is just something I will tell you about small coins, assuming I have the right chart. Any small coin, okay, I'll label this ZYPTO. You want to see something hold the 62% retracement of any initial up move, especially if they take it out and then they bring it back. We have a couple small coin picks. Steve J's giving you his right now, okay? It's like, you know, Milton says AutoZone is almost at 3,000. MicroStrategy has a lot of room. Denji says, do you think altcoins will dip a lot following a BTC dip before going higher again? Trying to figure out if I should buy now or wait. Also, microcap coins don't necessarily follow this pattern. Okay, so there's 4 questions in there. Let me take the screen share off and explain this. First of all, don't overthink a portfolio, right? I know there's a rotation game being on, but you want to have like core longs in place, okay? When the Fed makes any potential changes to how much money it gives the banking system in March, there will be volatility in capital markets. You got to make money in Bitcoin. You got to make money in meme coins. You got to make money in small coins while you can. If Bitcoin goes to 70 or 80, my guess is you're going to have an immediate like 4-day alt season. You're going to have like a mania. So you're going to have a mania in Bitcoin, and then you'll have a mania in big cap alts, and then you're going to have a mania in small cap alts in a matter of days. Are you going to be able to catch the rotation from one to the other? Well, that's what we're trying to do in Patreon, and I hope so. But you want to make sure that while everybody is doing this cope and hope, waiting for a drop that doesn't come, that whatever it is you're into, you have a core position. And just as a reminder, you don't have to be 10x levered. You don't even have to be all the way invested. You got to have a position, but you got to have a position that you can live with. So if it does go down, you can grab some. Or if you happen to make a ton of money, then you can shave off those profits and move it somewhere else. So do I think alts will dip? Yeah. I think if anything makes Bitcoin go from 70 to 50, that's obviously going to be an epic dip in the market. Okay. Now, waiting for altcoins, the new theme that I have is the pause is the dip for the moment, right? So if Bitcoin's up 5% and StoreJ is only up 3 or Filecoin is only up 3, that is the dip because Jasmy's up 34%. So up 3% or not doing anything for the moment, that's the dip. It won't be in 3 weeks, but for now it is because this is how equities work. One thing goes all the way up with other things, and then the other thing catches up, and then we just keep going like this. Okay? We keep going like this. YouTube intern is asking about Pandora. Let me see if I can pull that up. Again, folks, one other thing about Patreon. It's mobile only, but you can do this all day with me if you want. Okay? Whatever see Pandora, this is the key to small alts. They take out the 62% retracement. Whoop, share screen. Okay, here's Pandora. Take out the 62% retracement and come back above it. If you're playing around in small coins, you want to see something holding to 62% retracement. If it holds a 62% retracement of any former up move and you want to take a shot, go for it. Go for it, right? Because what I'm telling people is you got to make money now, right? You got to make money now. You buy something, you get stopped out, you took your shot. You took your shot, right? I mean, with Bitcoin acting like this, okay, so let's go back to where ETH is, okay? So ETH, we're playing that game right around that level, man. They know where that is, and if they didn't, I just told them, 3360, okay? That's going to be a big deal. Okay, let's sum this up. Normies are here. They're feeding me to normies, which is very unusual, right? That's very unusual that all of a sudden I should be getting 5,000, 8,000, 20,000 views on YouTube Shorts. If you're watching those shorts, leave a comment down below so I can welcome you. These people are not going to be price sensitive, and this is going to continue every single day for 2 weeks. Remember how crypto used to rally on weekends when the Bitcoin ETF guys were out? Now, can you imagine what happens when the Bitcoin ETF guys go home on Friday and everybody in crypto goes, oh my God, we got to get in front of these guys? What could happen now on weekends? Forget about it. Especially maybe even in altcoins. Because again, there's definitely no selling in Bitcoin. So doesn't this leave crypto with room to run? Make your money while you can. Hit the like button on this stream. That means you. Jump into Patreon. Patreon is research. In a market that behaves like equities, you need research to find sectors and altcoins. We'll see you in Patreon.